CueBall's bearded rambles. 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 Hunters, how's it going? Hunters, how the hell are you doing? Hunters, how is it going? Hunters, how's it fucking going? CueBall's bearded rambles. Hunters, how's it going? Hunters, how's it going? Hunters, how is it going? Hunters, this is CueBall's bearded rambles. Hunters, how's it going? I'm back after about a month hiatus. Mental health issues, you know. That's anybody can do it private. But anyway, feeling better, feeling great, feeling more confident. I'm back. And this is going to start being a regular thing again. So on today's episode of CueBall's Bearded Rambles, this is number 20. Should have been 21, but because of personal issues with my other guests, we've had to postpone it. But it will happen. I invited one of professional wrestling's up-and-comers in the Welsh wrestling scene. He is the professional, no he's not, he's a superior mind of professional wrestling, Sandbrook.
That's me, hello.
There he is, the antologist.
Really weird to be a guest on a show.
Yes, you are a guest. Yeah, because what's your show called?
Topic Thunder.
There we go. Topic Thunder, that's Kai Sandbrooks. He has a YouTube channel. Go and like, subscribe, and share the love and all that crap. You haven't made your bed.
I have. It's just been a very busy day. I've been going through a lot of clothes to move out, so I've been looking through a lot of shit.
Bless him, he's growing up. Right, so.
No.
You been good since we last spoke? Been a while.
Yeah. Life's been ticking along, so it's swings and roundabouts like. But yeah, I'm getting there. Got into uni, so get even more superiorly minded, I guess. So we'll see where that goes. But I know. Life's okay. Life's doing all right now. Back in training as well, so that helps.
Cool. So, first question. As you know, you've watched this, so you know how it goes. I like to ask this question because I love this. I just love hearing people's stories. So, Guy, first question is, how and why did you get into this fucking crazy business of wrestling?
Well, it all started really. When did I start watching? I've been in and out of watching since I was about 4. But I only really got into it in like 2009, just as Shawn Michaels was slowing down. So I really got into it, and around 2014, after watching it for so long, I walked into a coffee shop. This is a random little bit of a story, but I walked into a coffee shop in my town called Coffee Bound, and I walked in. I was such a mark. I was 12, so I was, the big wrestling fan. I love wrestling. I walked in, I think, with like a Chris Jericho shirt on, and a man walked up to me and said, "Oh, you're a wrestling fan." I thought, yeah, obviously. And I ended up speaking to that man for about 2 hours about wrestling. He said he used to wrestle. He showed me videos of him wrestling Eugene. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And I didn't see him again then, like, at all. But he encouraged me in that 2 hours to go and find a school and start training. Fast forward then to 2016. RIW did a show with Mark Andrews. Not Mark Daniels. He was already there. But they done a show with Mark Andrews, and after that show, they advertised their training school. So I thought, I'll come along to that. I had a little bit of a back injury outside of sports, so that sidelined me a little bit. So I've always been on, the injury list since before I started. And then in the July 23rd, 2016, I took my first bump, and I've been trying to do it ever since.
Nice.
injuries and stuff since then. But yeah, it all came in from there.
Nice. So,
And that man in that coffee shop recently came back into training. A man that you've had a spat with online quite a few times.
yeah, well, anyway, we're not going to go into them because that's for a different time. This is about you, Kai. Okay, stop them. Anyway, so I want to know what the fuck?
Is this recording? Am I on? Lunch? Am I on? CueBall boy. How's it going? How does it feel to have Danny Owens on the Bearded Rambles for a second time? Amazing, I know. Just a quick message. We said we're coming after you. We're just putting you on notice. At CWF, at RWS, those belts look pretty. We're coming for them. We are BXB. And we are taking all the gold. See you soon.
Right,
I don't know. Something happened. Someone hacked. I don't know. Anyway, second question. We're going to go on to see second question now. So I want to know what your first year in this business was like.
Rough.
Rough like a dog.
Very. Yeah, it was a bad year. So I started off, obviously started training. Within 3 weeks, I was already out for 2 months with a broken shoulder. So that's a fun way to start in. Broken shoulder, like there. It's now at a 45-degree angle, so no German suplexes for me. So that was fun. And then I came back, and won't get into the specifics of everything. A lot of it was publicized earlier this year of what happened during that year then from the October onwards or something like that.
Okay.
So a lot of that happened. Some issues with some senior management and training staff. There were good moments in there. Like I got to meet Cody Rhodes with Exposure and all that. Got to meet Doug Williams, who I've always been a fan of. So I there were good moments sprinkled in there. But that first year, I think it was a real test of if I wanted to do this. It was a lot of ups and downs, mostly downs. But saying that in the first year, I met a lot of really good people that are still in my life today, like Danny, Clarity Miss, Jordan Carter. Well, I brought Jordan Carter in, but let's not talk about that. But there was a lot of people that joined in that first year that I'm still friendly with now, like Joey B, who was there just before me. So it was a challenging year. It was, but I don't really want to speak about everything about it. But it's the second year and the third year then that really started to pick up, especially the second year, because I think I debuted in the middle of that second year. So that first year was a test, to say the least.
Yeah, sounds like it. All right, so let's hear what your second year in this business was like. That's a bit interesting. Sounds interesting.
Well, so in the July I celebrated the first anniversary sort of, and I was still under that first sort of trainer until I'd say the September, and that was when I was really like in my slump, thought I was going to leave because nothing was happening. I'd seen people come in after 4 months, 4 weeks, like a month, 2 months, and they getting on shows, getting matches, whatever. And there was me over a year in now, and I hadn't done anything other than music or timekeeper. And it got a little bit frustrating because I was seeing people that I knew I was working harder than get opportunities. So, but after that trainer left, literally within a month, I was on a show with Bram as the referee. So I was a co-referee with Chris Edmonds. I think it was Chris. Yeah, it was Edmonds. Because Chris Bryce had to pull out due to prior commitment. So, quick side note, love Chris Bryce, one of the best people I've ever met, I think, especially in wrestling. Such a nice guy. He bullies me because of my height, which I think is hilarious. But, yeah. I love Chris. But anyway, that I done that in the October. In the November, I was ring announcer for Wrong Turn, and then we didn't have a December show. And come the January, I debuted. So it was a case of job, job, job. So within a 4-month period, I was doing everything really. And that first year, I was more or less steady in ring competitor. Right up until the December, then from January. There was a little bit of a gap between January and June where our shows were off because of storms and what have you. But I done 2 extra jobs as ring announcer then, and every other show in 2018 then I was wrestling. I wrestled quite a hefty schedule then, wrestling my trainers. Done a hardcore triple threat, which was an experience. A buried Rene Dupree, which was an experience in and of itself in a talk show segment. And yeah, I won match of the year at the end of 2018 actually because of that hardcore match. So it was a good second year. Really good to rebound off the first. So yeah, it was good. Between 2017 and in the middle of 2018 was really good, and then the third year picked up a little bit more, and well, I'm still here now, just past my 4th, so
Nice.
looking forward to everything that's coming now.
That's what she said. So,
Yeah.
so obviously you, I believe you debuted for Cirencester Wrestling Federation
Yes.
last year.
Yeah, 2018.
2018.
No, 19.
Yes, yeah, I thought I was right. So
Yeah, right, yeah.
So initially, right, so you get this booking from CWF management. What is going through your head? Because originally you were just in ROW. You was doing nothing else, and you get a booking elsewhere, outside of Wales as well. That's an achievement. What's your thoughts?
Well, in the June or the July, I had my first out of ROW booking as referee and wrestler for Ronda shows. So they were quite fun to do them, and that got my name out there a little bit more. And yeah, so come the August, I got a call from. Well, I got a text first from Danny Owens saying, "I'm going up to Cirencester. They told me I'm allowed to bring a couple of guys up with me. There's no spot open for you right now, but you can come up, help out, maybe see if you can get a ring announcer gig." Because I was fine with that. Like it's experience is experience, and I was under the impression I was just going up for for that, just to go up see if there was an extra spot available as an announcer or something. And the day before the show, it was like 7 o'clock. We were gonna leave at like 8 a.m. and it was 7 p.m. the night before, and I got a call from Danny, and he was frantic. He was like, "Have you got your ring gear ready?" I was like, "Yeah, I've got my old gear for the Ethan character. Yeah, I've got that." And he was like, "Okay, cool. Someone's dropped out. There's a spot for you on the show. Mid-card title. You're in the semi-main." And he hung up. And that was it. It was like, I thought it was a rib. Until like the very next day, when I turned up to the show. When I met Darren, and he said, "No, yeah, you're in the semi-main. You, Johnny Royal, CWF Carinium Championship." So it was. It came out of left field. Let's put it that way. But it felt so good, and that match. Looking back, the crowd work in that match was a little bit not there, but like technically, I think that is probably one of my best showings. And Mr. X being the referee was an experience.
Can't beat Mr. X, can you? Bless him.
Oh, I love him, because after the match, he came up to me and said that was a really good technical match. That I loved being a part of that. And I was like, yeah. Could you do me a favor and shift to the side a little bit? Because I'm about to ruin that technical masterclass. And I just came behind Johnny Royal, clocked him. And then Foxcatcher came out and cashed in his golden ticket to win the title. So I was like, maybe I'm not such a nice guy anymore. But yeah, I loved that. I absolutely loved working CWF that first time. It was so good, so much fun, and the atmosphere backstage. Everyone was so nice because like they see this kid walk in, and they're like, oh, he's probably a fan. He wandered in the wrong place. Most people are like that when I even walk in RIW. They're like, oh, he's just a fan. But everyone in CWF, even Scrubber Daily, and Johnny Rose, they were, treating me like just a regular part of the roster. And that never really happened up until that point. So I was really made to feel welcome there. And then after my match, everyone came up to me and gave me a pat on the back. So yeah, I loved working that first CWF show.
You know what that is, don't you? That's called respect. That's called respect.
Yeah.
And that's what
it's missing in a lot of places.
Oh yes, it is.
It's something that I think because I started at 14. I started. I was a bit of a prick, I'll be honest. Like I'd still shake everyone's hands, but I was a twat, and I'm happy that I was, because I don't feel that if I came in respectful then, I think now I'd be a little bit bitter, because obviously my bookings and stuff froze for a while and everything got a little bit cloudy with me. And I feel like that would have turned me from respectful to a bit of a jackass again. But I think because I came in with that sort of, I'm a dick, that really ingrained a sort of level of respect in me, because I was like, right, all of this is going south. What am I doing wrong? Right, I'm not showing everyone the level of respect I need to. It was a case of shaking everyone's hands. If someone needs help with their bags, I'll take them out to their car or bring them into the shows. The ring setup, I've always helped with ring setup, but it's always been a case of I'm the smaller guy, so I can't do everything. But I always try and like, do you need a hand with that, even if it's only to holster it up a little bit.
You try and
so I feel like over time, respect has really been something that I've ingrained in myself.
Yeah.
But respect is definitely an important thing in wrestling.
And at least you try it. At least you try, man. That's the main thing. So, okay. So I want to know what your thoughts are on the Welsh independent wrestling scene. Your honest opinion, if you want to give your honest opinion, is up to you.
I don't know, if I feel like the Welsh independent scene it's cut into sort of two halves. You've got the top, like the pinnacle, like that's where you'll find the Dragon Pros, the Welsh wrestling, even Exist are doing really well. And then you've got like the middle then with like Slam Masters, RIW. As much as it pains me to say, they're not the pinnacle of wrestling in Wales yet. I think there's a lot of potential in RIW. But I don't know, it's a tricky thing. I've been there for a long time and I've seen people come and go. Some people come that shouldn't have come in at all. Some people go that shouldn't have gone. But I feel like the RIW now is worlds apart from RIW 5 years ago. And that is such a good thing, because the respect level backstage in RIW now is so high. Whereas at one point it wasn't. And I love the guys to bits, but they didn't enforce it too much back then. And now it is a case of, if you don't shake everyone's hands, you're out. And I think that's the perfect way to be. So I think RIW could be at the very pinnacle soon. And then you've got Ronva. I know they're making a lot of strides to sort of revamp themselves, and I can't wait to be a part of that.
Going to be interesting.
It's going to be very interesting. You got Slam Masters, who I think, again, have so much potential there, because the guys running that are clued in. Like, they know, I feel like they know what they're doing. I'm sure there's a few other promotions stirring around.
It's like VCW. Knockout Pro Wrestling. You know?
Sorry, I forgot completely. I'm sorry.
I'm just putting their name in there.
Yeah.
They've got some up. You know, they've had, what, 2 shows, I think it is. And obviously, this COVID has kicked everybody's momentum.
Yeah.
Unfortunate it is. But I think when we can start doing shows again properly, from what I've been hearing from VCW, there's some good things, some big things are going to be happening. I can't wait to be part of it. The same with probably RIW. You know, they've probably got some big things coming, and hopefully, you know, I'm looking forward to still seeing that, and should be good.
Wales, we have a lot of promotions here.
You don't say.
And yeah, we do have a few. But the problem I think right now with Welsh wrestling, on the whole, is the lack of integration. Nobody really works with each other in a way that they used to. Like Exposure and RIW used to have a pretty close working relationship. Dragon Pro and RIW used to have a pretty close working relationship. They do now, again, I think. But, you know, for a while that was frazzled at both ends, I think. But yeah, promotions don't really work with each other as much. And that pains me because there are a lot of guys like, if I can't get onto a Slam Masters show, there's a lot of roster members of Slam Masters that I would absolutely love to work in RIW. Or, you know, there are a lot of guys in Exist, like Curtis Atlas. I trained with him for a while. He is really good. You know, the Flying Grayson. Adam Carter, I think his name is. The Cardio King. I only know him as Cardio King. From everything I've seen from him, he's really good. So there's a lot in Exist. And like Bevan, I really want to work Bevan one day because he just, I don't know, he's got something there, like an aggression level there that I think I could bump for him and make him look 10 times bigger than he actually is as a human being. Yeah, there's a lot in Exist that I really like. A lot that I don't, but that's the same everywhere else. Like, there's a lot of people in Exposure that I absolutely adore. Like Lucky Bowden, David Eaton. Love matches there. I would love to work Exposure. But then again, it's a case of working relationships need to be made. Because if I work Exposure, I feel like that would kill off bookings elsewhere. And if I work Slam Masters, it could kill off bookings elsewhere. And I don't like that. I really wish we could work anywhere. Because,
yeah, there is.
Personal issues aside as well, like, all right, yes, I've had issues with a lot of people in Exist in the past. But I would still love to work there. There are a few people that I wouldn't enjoy working with and talking to so much. However, if the opportunity presented itself and I was approached as someone, you know, that they see value in, I would jump at the chance because there are a lot of great people there. You know, same as anywhere really, like Welsh wrestling. I'd love to work VCW as well. Slam Masters, it's the same. Like anywhere that's willing to go out on a limb and say, you know, we want to take a risk on you, we want to take a chance on you. It's like, yes, I'm there.
Yeah.
That's all I need is that, you know, if I send my CV there and I get a response, then I know, like, because there are a lot of places that I feel scared to send my CV to because of the lack of working relationships. And I know it's a business and you've got to look out for yourself, but it's
loyalty at the same time.
Yeah, I don't want to risk working somewhere that will lose me bookings somewhere that I value.
Yeah, I completely understand.
Yeah, I wish there was a safe haven, like some sort of bubble, like a bubble promotion where all of these Welsh promotions, Dragon Pro, Welsh, Slam Masters, Exist, RIW, they all sort of coincide and come together there. But I think that's just a pipe dream. But
I think the one place that could potentially do that is Slam Masters. Because they seem to be booking the guys from Dragon Pro, Exposure, VTW.
Yeah, they do.
I think a few from RW maybe, well, who work in with RW, like High and Mighty as an example. So yeah, maybe Slam Masters is it's going to be that promotion of Wales where everybody can connect and not being bitches, basically, you know. But
Yeah, I wouldn't put it quite like that because I don't have the ability to not get killed like you do. But
people want to kill me for having an opinion. That's up to them. If they don't like it, then they can shove it up their ass and fucking just do whatever they want with it.
Yeah, I'm very strongly opinionated when it comes to the way I feel things should go. But I know they won't necessarily go that way. So I think I just have to grin and bear it for now. But yeah, Welsh wrestling, I love the scene. I love the people on it. I just wish I could work with all of them.
Maybe one day we can do that.
Maybe.
So I'm thinking maybe I should stop asking this question because this question always triggers me. I always go off on a little rant, but it is what it is. So we've got this part of the show now.
Oh.
Everybody loves. All the millions and millions watching at home. They don't. There's only about 40. I don't know. Anyway, so this is going to be CueBall's Cutout. I still haven't made the intro to this yet because I haven't. I will get round to it. So CueBall's Cutout is basically I bring up a picture from a wrestler's past. Might be embarrassing, might be funny.
I'm not looking forward to it.
Who knows? So hopefully this works because sometimes it doesn't work. But if it doesn't work, I shall put the picture up so people can see what Kai is talking about. And yeah, here we go. Can you see this?
Yeah.
What's happening here? Speak to me about it. Emotions, senses, everything. Speak to me.
Oh, I got so much heat for this. Wow.
Is that when you went through a door?
That's when Danny jumped off and put me through a door. Moments after this, you will see Alex Mason come over to Danny and just go, because he thought that I died. Yeah. Okay. So story of this match. I can't even remember why I was in this match. The show before, I was in a tag team match as the sort of bump monkey face, and they said, "Yeah, you're in the Imperial title match next show." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." You know, me and Blake Henson, I think that'd be cool. They said, "Oh no, it's a triple threat, you, Blake, and Danny." I was like, "Okay, cool." And then like 2 weeks before the show, I get a text, "Oh, it's hardcore now." I'm like, "Huh? Why?" And it was Halloween, so I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna gimmick this." I got apples, and I was gonna do a bobbing for apple spot, which I ended up forgetting about, so I never actually did it. But it is what it is. And yeah, we spent the entire day just planning miscellaneous spots. So we did this, and we had a picture frame that they tried to smash off my head and failed. Tried it 3 times, almost broke my neck on the 3rd one. We threw everything at each other. I even had a jigsaw mat that I ended up getting kicked into my face.
Okay.
And then we got to this part of the match, which we set up with a Dudley's spoof, me and Blake, where I slapped him on the chest and said, "Blake, get the door." So yeah, he got the door, and yeah, I was placed on the door. Danny jumped on the door, and I did a thing. And a lot of people backstage, I thought, were aware of my thing, but were not made aware of the thing by the people that I thought would make them aware of the thing. So I started, because I've been watching a lot of Xavier Woods and Dudley's matches up to that point. I convulsed quite a lot, actually, and made pretty much every single person in the venue shit themselves in unison. Yeah, and then the spot was approved backstage by Andrew and PJ, where the referee was going to throw up an X because this was supposed to write me off shows. I was supposed to be gone for like 6 or 7 months to do a different character. That I still ended up wrestling the next show because why not? And yeah, turns out not everyone was made aware of the X. And that coupled with the convulsing made a lot of people think that I was dead. So yeah, we had like first aiders come out, and an ambulance was called and
Jesus
shunned
Christ.
away. It was
Fucking-
literally a fan called an ambulance, and I had to have someone go out and turn it away because of me not actually being hurt. So yeah, it's bad. It's horrible that an ambulance was called because of a spot. But that is just a feather in my cap, I think. I think that's the coolest thing I've ever accomplished. I got someone so scared that they had to phone an ambulance for me. That's cool.
Okay, fair.
That is a badge of honor for me. But yeah,
Yeah, fucking fair play, man. Fair fucking play to you.
this match, man. Yeah, I think it's the match that made me and Danny close. It's the match that really pulled us together as friends. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's
this match, I love this. I love this match. This picture though, wow.
yeah, but there we go. There's a story behind that one. And we're back. So this next question.
Hey, CueBall. Hey, look where I am, buddy. I'm on your Rambles, mate. Just a quick message. Well, more of a warning. Your old friend Blanche here. And Dangerous Danny Owens. We're BXB. We're Beers and Beatdown. And we want what you got. So, if you're man enough, you and Big D, we're coming for Yare and Scare. We're coming for everyone. We're going to teach you our way. The way of blood, sweat, tears, and beers. Now, do you see us? We'll see you soon, brother.
Seriously, the fuck, right?
I
Lance,
don't get it.
Danny Owens, quit it. I know you got like this little feud bollocks you want to get going on because you want to become relevant, because that's what Mike's album do. We make people relevant. But stop. You're not taking the tag team titles off us from CWF or RWS. It's not happening. I'll deal with you at some other point. Piss off. There we go.
Sick.
So about that, Kai.
I honestly thought that they were going to let this be about me, but there we are. Okay, whatever. So much for being friends, guys. Cheers for that.
Yeah, sorry about that, Kai. You know. Anyway, are you happy to move on, or do you want to just cut it there?
Yeah. Let's keep it going.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe we've done that again. I don't even know how they're doing it either, because this is supposed to be a secure Wi-Fi thing, whatever it is. Clearly not. Anyway, right. So the next question is something new that I brought into because I feel it's important that a lot of people speak about it. If you don't want to talk about it, completely understandable. I'm not going to judge you, and neither anybody who's going to be watching this. But mental health. Are you happy to continue?
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously everybody knows mental health is a real thing, and it fucks with you big time.
Oh, yeah.
It's happened to me. Okay, during this lockdown, I had 2 mental breakdowns, and that's the reason why I haven't been doing any rambles or anything on my page. I'm okay now. Ish, I'm better. I found my confidence again to a point. It's still getting there, but anyway, it's getting better. So how do you, not only in wrestling, but in real life, how do you deal with mental health?
Well, in wrestling, for a while, I coped with it by being someone else. Like, as you know, I didn't start off working as Kai. Started off as Kerry Everett, which I only named myself Kerry as a rib. Love you, Jordan. So yeah, that was funny. And then I started doing the Ethan Everett run, which lasted for about a year and a half. And that was cool because I got to go out there and do what I love to do, but without everyone from school and everything, searching it up and finding out that, oh, Kai's wrestling. This is a different person. This is Ethan Everett. And the beauty of that was all the thumbnails were just the ROW logo on YouTube. So that if the Ethan Everett name was in the video title, people just wouldn't automatically assume it was me, and that was an act of escapism. And then I started using Kai Sandbrook to help with my mental health, weirdly, because I was like, well, I'm doing all of this, I'm, you know, putting a lot into wrestling, but it's not me, it's, you know, this facade. So I really went, you know what, people at ringside started calling me Kai anyway because filthy marks, and I just started going by Kai, and that helped a lot. It did make my tights a little bit irrelevant, which I still need to get changed, but you know, money, because now it reads EE, which I'm thinking about working into a promo, just like, I have EE on my tight. Do you want to know what that stands for? Yeah, that's right. Exotic erection. That's what it stands for. But
It was not the phone company, the mobile phone company, EE.
Does that stand for exotic erection?
It can stand for whatever the hell you want. Elephant, erection, exacerbate, shit. I don't know. Anyway, sorry.
Right, yeah. Moving on. So yeah, going as Kai really helped my mental health within wrestling. Seeing my name pop up everywhere gave me that sort of, you know, self-gratification sort of thing. But then it also became a thing that, you know, it was a detriment as well, because I am, to most people looking at me, very egotistical in a sense of I really like praise. That is so far from the truth. I absolutely hate it when someone says I'm doing something right. I can't stand it. And so when people started saying, oh, this was great, Kai, it was like, no, stop. Like, this, you know, I'm not doing it for this. I'm just doing it because I want to. Like, no, I don't want it. And so that became a sort of thing of, why is everyone, you know, trying to crowd me? Because it got to the point where a lot of people, because I was putting out a lot of stuff at one point that I was proud of until people said that I should be proud of it. I don't know why, but that just sort of kills any pride I have. When, you know, because I do it for me, not for everyone else, I think.
Okay.
And so that really had a bad effect on me for a while. The whole public domain thing. Like, all right, I'm not a superstar, but, you know, I'm putting something online, that's it, it's on there. You know, I cut a promo, that's it, it's out there. And it did take me a long time to separate myself from the gimmick then, because it was the same name. So yeah, that was hard. But I think I cope with that through just distancing the real Kai Sandbrook from the wrestling Kai Sandbrook, because the wrestling Kai Sandbrook is very wanting praise, and, you know, I play up to it now with everyone going, yeah, that was, you know, you did really well there. I play up, that's my character now. Yeah, I know I did good. Of course I did. I'm me. I'm the superior mind. I'm fantastic. Of course I did. And then as soon as my music hits or the bell rings and I go backstage, that's it. I'm like, if you say that was a good job, you best make sure that I'm, you know, ready. I'm promo ready, because I will not, I won't respond. And yeah, so I'm distancing myself from wrestling helps a lot. As a person, that helps. And then in real life, it changes a lot. It really does change in the way that I cope with everything. Sometimes it's, you know, just going for a walk or for a run. Before lockdown, it was going to the gym. Now, post-lockdown and coronavirus and everything, it's gone a little bit trickier, because everywhere that I used to go is either overcrowded or shut, or, you know, so in this coronavirus-ridden world, dealing with everything is a bit harder. And obviously I didn't have training, which I used to use as a coping mechanism as well. So until recently, the way I dealt with a lot of things really was not dealing with it.
Yeah.
because before I would have something to distract myself, and I'd feel, fine for 6, 7 odd months maybe. But throughout lockdown, it was a case of 2 weeks. I was very productive. I was doing designs. I was writing, or I was putting something out. Like me and Aaron did the Don't Rush challenge. I put a lot of stuff out throughout lockdown. Not as much as you, but I tried to keep myself out there for a bit. But then there'd always be a week or two then of complete radio silence from me, where I just go, right, that's it. I haven't dealt with it. I have to just sit in a dark room and cope. So as bad as it is, I think having a breakdown helps. It sounds weird and like counterintuitive maybe, but yeah, it helps. Because after that is after you've sort of taken everything out of yourself and been,
Yeah.
I'm good. And it is a sort of, you heal yourself by being hurt, really. And that's something that it took me a long time to learn, but I'm glad I did. I don't want to keep using that because it still doesn't help as much as, a run or something. But yeah, I think as ill-advised as it is for most people, I think me letting things just bubble up and simmer for a little bit and just stay in the back of my mind, and then finally let the floodgates loose. As long as I'm not around anyone at the time or not doing anything at the time, it's perfectly fine. I can cope with that for a couple of days, but I wouldn't want to do it in my time in uni because I'll be around people a lot and I will probably end up taking my aggressions out on something or someone, and I don't want to do that. I don't want that sort of reputation. So yeah, my coping mechanism changes depending on the circumstance, I'd say.
It's fair enough. It's a good answer. I mean, everybody deals with it differently. Just because your way doesn't work for somebody else, it doesn't mean to say it's a wrong way. Like you, I do bottle things up a lot. And then when it gets too much, like I done the other week, I let things get too, like loads of even silly little things got to me. And then it just got to the point where I just kind of exploded in the kitchen. Nothing bad. It was just mainly just fucking bawling my eyes out. But then I just fell to the floor and I was just fucking a lovely mess. And yeah, it really, really fucking knocked me. And I got pissed off with myself because I allowed myself to get that bad. I mean, not to me to the point I had to come away from social media for a week. I didn't speak to anybody. I didn't do anything on the Rambles. I stopped doing it. My confidence levels went down. It took me like 5 days to even go out for a walk or anything. But, one day you can be feeling like crap. But then the next day, it's just like, you forget. It's like, I had a crap day yesterday. What was that? But I'm feeling okay today. It's a bit of a mind fuck, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It doesn't work for everyone. And I don't think it should either, because it's a risky thing to let everything sort of build.
It is. But like I said, everybody reacts differently. No way is a wrong way, and just gotta sometimes just talk a little. Sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that's hard to do. Sometimes it's not as easy as going, "Oh, okay, yes, I've got these problems." That. It's not that easy.
Thankfully, now I do have people that reach out. I mean, family reaching out, yeah, it's fine, but I don't really want to talk about what's going on up here necessarily. To my grandparents or my dad. Like, as close as I am to them, it doesn't feel right.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I don't know why, but I feel far more at ease if I'm talking about, my mental state to Dav or, to Aaron. So that helps me as well, having that sort of communication with people. And I think those people being around me when I'm in wrestling helps.
Yeah.
Because they know how I cope and how I don't when I'm wrestling. So yeah, lockdown was tough though, without everything. It was bad.
Yeah. Right. Cover mental health. Remember, anybody's watching, it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
There's always somebody to talk to. Somebody'd rather talk to you than attend your funeral. Don't take that the wrong way. I don't mean to, be a shit on anybody, but
Mm.
it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
On a more happy side of things now, this is my last question to you, Kai. What are your goals throughout your wrestling career? And how would you like to be remembered? You asked me this question, so now I'm asking you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
there you go. There you go.
Yeah, so goals. Let's see. I think a lot of people would answer this with sort of winning a championship or main eventing here, doing this. My goal is to, in like 10 years, have a training school, my own little promotion with its own little fan base, its own following, and really be respected for the work and the commitment that I showed and put in. Because for me, wrestling was never about championships or win streaks. Like I'm a small guy. I'm never going to expect to win, the world championship anywhere or have a winning streak at WrestleMania or anything. If anything, I'd be happy to have a losing streak, But yeah, I've always had a drive to sort of do something and giving someone a platform to perform and to do what they want to do. I think that would be best for me, because obviously I love performing, but I really do enjoy being behind the scenes and really helping out people. I really do enjoy that. How do I want to be remembered? I want to be remembered as someone who did their best with what they had. I don't want to be the kind of guy that's remembered for doing, moves for the sake of moves. Like for me, everything I do in the ring needs to make sense. And I feel like I want to be remembered as the guy that did everything his way because that was the way that made sense for the match. Like I don't want to be the guy that people talk about backstage because he does this a certain way, or because he shouldn't be doing this move, he can't hit it right.
Yeah.
If I can't do a frog splash, I can't do a frog splash. I won't do a frog splash. If I can't do a moonsault, I won't try a moonsault.
Mm.
If I can't do an elbow drop, I won't do an elbow drop. And that's the thing. And that is something that's been ingrained with me now, because I always tried to hit the suicide dives or the blockbusters or, the spinning tornado DDT and a kickflip, moonsault, everything. But I finally found my niche, something that I'm really good at, and that's the technical side of it. I don't need to do a Hurricane Rana if I can sleep. I don't need to pick someone up and hit them with a power slam if I can hit them with a running elbow and take them down. I don't need to do all these flashy backflips if I can just dive up to the top rope, catch someone in a cold breaker, push them off. Kick someone in the back. It's, for me, I just want to be the guy remembered for doing the best with his size, because I'm always going to be remembered as a small guy. That's it. I'm not going to be lifting people up anytime soon. I'm not going to be hitting fallaways. So I think the best way for me to go about it, and the best way for me to be memorable, is by using what I have. And that's why I always watch World of Sport. I always watch Japanese wrestling, because they know how to use their bodies. Like Les Keller was one of the best. I think I must have bastardized every single move in his arsenal in the past couple of months. Just like in lockdown, just picking it like, he grabs the arm, he runs around, he does this. That's not flashy, but it gets the crowd to go.
Mm-hmm.
That's smart, that's clever. I like that. And yeah, that's what I want. I want people to come to me for help because they know and they trust me of what I can do in the ring. I want to be remembered as a good worker, essentially. And that's not, I need to say this because it's been something that has been thrown directly into my face for so long that I finally have started to understand. A worker isn't someone who just knows the right moves. A worker is someone who can connect with the crowd and wrestle a standard, like a really good high standard match without having to do anything stupid. Because for so long in my matches, I would be like, oh yeah, that's cool. Oh, you want to bump me like that? You want to throw me out the ring and I do a bump and like land on my head? Yeah, cool. Yeah, no worries. As long as the crowd enjoy. But it's like, I know I don't need to do that. I really do not need to do that. I need to just go out there, pick one fan and be like, right, you're the guy. If I can get you to cheer for me, everyone around you is going to cheer for me. Or if I can get you to hate me, that's it. The entire row is going to hate me.
Yeah.
And I always try and do that. Like, I feel like I work best as a heel because I'm a smaller guy. And a lot of people think, yeah, but you've got sympathy. You'd be a great face. Yeah, I have. And I feel like that's why I'd make such a good heel. Because no one would expect me to be a heel. I go out there against a baby face, people are going to want to boo. Like, if I went out there against Jordan Carter, he's not a big guy, but against me, he's a giant. People are going to want to boo him and cheer me. So what am I going to do? Right, need to think about this. I don't want him to get heat on me. I don't want him to be a bad guy. I don't want him to shove me around. What should I do? Right, I'll sleep. He can fall. I'll get him in a headlock. I'll start punching him in the head. I'll start gnawing at his ear. I'll start throwing elbows. I'll do a baseball drop kick to his knees. I'll take his knee out. I'll work his leg. I'll be really slow with it. I'll pull it to the ropes and be like, is he your guy, He's got muscles. He's Mr. Muscle. He's the best guy on the roster. He's fantastic. Bitch slap him. The crowd will hate me for that. You know, calling him pretty boy. Is this your boyfriend? Is this your father? Is this your brother? You know, like, no, of course it's not. Of course he's not. But, you know, it's personalized and it's connected to the crowd. And that is something that has really been taught to me recently. And it took me so long to understand it. And I hate that it took me so long to understand that wrestling isn't about wrestling anymore. And it is not. I mean, you could be the best in-ring worker of all time. And I think, for me, for my money, Lance Storm is one of the best in-ring workers of all time. But William Regal is up there. William Regal was a great in-ring worker.
Yeah.
They were both on par as great in-ring workers. But who will be remembered more?
Regal. Yeah.
Because he had comedic timing. He was evil. He had charisma. And I think, like, a lot of people say charisma isn't taught. No, it's not. But it can be learned. You can't teach someone to be charismatic, but if you work at it, you know, you will get it. And I feel like a lot, because I've seen a lot of people that came in like a cardboard plank, like not a cardboard plank, like a wooden plank, had no charisma at all. Like, you would have had an easier job getting the crowd to chant for, you know, a corpse. But over time, because they wanted to and they wanted to improve, they're the best workers on the show. And it's because they watch stuff. I love students of the game. If I can talk to someone and I know that they watch wrestling, I would book them. Even if I looked at you and was like, right, yeah, you're not great in the ring. You can't really hold your own against, you know, a Martin Grant technically. You can't really do this. You can't. But you're really good with the crowd. Because wrestling's a variety show. As long as you have the wrestling match, the comedy match, the feel-good match, the dramatic match, the big bad match with someone who really gets the crowd to hate them, and then the main, I think for me that's a perfect structured card because you hit every possible necessity there. And I'm doing what the show tells me to do. I'm rambling, but I love it. I'm so passionate about being a wrestler and a worker, because I feel like I could benefit from working people that don't work the crowd, in the same way that I could benefit from working people that do work the crowd, because I could help them and they can help me work the crowd more. So I don't know if any of this is making sense to anyone listening.
Man, do you know what?
But
It's how I work. Fuck the wrestling.
It's how I feel. So yeah, my entire deal has changed a little bit since I started. It's sort of evolved. I started out working the crowd, then I wanted to be taken as this serious, no nonsense, like underdog baby face, and it went good for a couple of shows, but it didn't go good after those first few shows. So now that lockdown's gone, I've worked, I think, on my character a bit, and I finally found something that could be despised by a crowd. It could be loved as well, but if anyone's listening to this, I really want to be a bad guy. So
Must be a bad guy.
I want to be a bad guy. I want to be a bully. I want to kick someone in the face.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Everything you said, I agree with, because I just work the crowd. That's this year I do. I'm not really a wrestler. I'm an entertainer. I've always said
The
it.
most important part of the show. Without them, the show wouldn't be a thing. So
As
we've learned throughout lockdown, the crowd is the show.
Yeah, I've always said the crowd is a show. It's just people don't listen and they think they know best. And I know the best. I know everything. I don't know everything, but
I'm the smartest guy in the business. And I'm clued in. I'm so dumb. I don't know anything. Like, in the grand scheme of things, a lot of people come up to me that have been in the business for 10 years. Like, I'm not going to name drop them because one of them would literally kill me if I told you. But someone that would, like, an import came up to me, someone that had been around the country in RAW would come to me and was like, how did you do that? Because I'd gone out there and did something and the crowd was dead, and I came back after 2 minutes and the crowd was live. And he was like, how did you do that? How did you turn them like that? And people come up to me as if I've been in the business for so long. But it's just because I watch.
psychology.
And I'm still dumb. I don't know anything. But, it's because I think it's because I watch so much wrestling, and because I'm so obsessed with wrestling, that I can sort of separate every sort of aspect of it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like saying stuff like this because I feel like I'm going to get a lot of trouble from people, because it does feel like I'm tooting my own horn. But I believe in myself a little bit more now, and I believe in my abilities a little bit more. But yeah, I'm still clueless. I will listen to anyone in it. Like, even if you've been in the business for 2 days, I will listen to your opinion and see what you think I can do better. People that have been in the business for 20, 30 years, obviously they would know what they're talking about now. So I'd sit and I talk to them. I did at CWF with Scrubber Daily and Johnny Rose. I did with RIW and Marty Jones came down, Martin Kirby, Joseph Connors, even Rene Dupree. I sat down and I tried to pick as much of their brain as possible, because I love it. I just love being in front of a crowd, and I think that's what gives me life. Being a worker, being an entertainer, and I love it. I could talk about it all day. I love wrestling.
That's all good. Right, so that's all of my questions for you, Kai. But we have questions submitted by the fans.
Oh.
So, first question is from Steve-O. We know Steve-O.
I love Steve-O.
He always gives the good questions. Good old Steve-O. So, he asks you, how do you make yourself stand out from the crowd when you are usually the smallest man in the room? And what tips would you have for anybody who thinks they are too small for wrestling?
All right, so I'll answer the second one first. Tell people to piss off.
We go first question asked.
Yeah. Yeah. For people who think they're too small, Spike Dudley was too small. Drake Maverick was too small. You know, Hornswoggle, too small. Rey Mysterio, too small. Rey Mysterio is one of the best workers of all time, in my opinion. He connected with a crowd like no one I've ever seen before. Drake Maverick, recently one of the best workers in the business today. Spike Dudley got so much sympathy because of his size. Marco Stunt now, so much sympathy because of his size. Size really doesn't matter. That's what she said. But it genuinely is. Like, I struggled with it a lot, being the smallest guy for a long time. But it's because I was the smallest guy, I think it put a chip on my shoulder. And the more and more that I worked, that chip sort of grew until eventually I was like, nah, get away. I don't want this. And I started using now my size as an advantage. Because, as I said, as a bad guy, no one's going to expect me to be a bad guy. And that gives me free rein to do literally anything and anything. I can go out there and just start biting people's ankles. And people would laugh. But I get up and I spit in people's faces and be like, yeah, don't laugh at me. I'm not a circus act. I'm a real boy. And that would get a laugh. And I'm still being heel, I'm still being devious, but I get a laugh. And someone who's 7 foot, they wouldn't get that laugh because it would just be stupid for them to do it. But for me, it would be funny. And like, comedy really works if you're smaller, by the way, it really does. But even for more dramatic things, like as a face, the underdog is the best story to tell in the ring. It is, because it's easy. Yeah. Everyone can be an underdog. Me and Danny could work a 5-minute match, and by the end of it, he could be despised. I could be loved just because I keep getting back up. And being small is probably the best way to be in wrestling right now, because the size of what makes a wrestler it's shrinking. Like, we're not in the lands of Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior anymore. We're in the AJ Styles, Seth Rollins, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart sort of category now. And all right, yeah, they're still like 6 foot guys, but that's gonna come down soon. Like it's coming down. We've had people like Rey Mysterio break the barrier there. So if you think you're too small for the business, try. Yeah. Just try. Just take a bump. See how it feels. Get in the ring. Run the ropes. What was the other part of his question? I think I missed that.
How would you make yourself stand out from the crowd? You pretty much answered that one as well.
Yeah, but I'm lucky in a way because I came from acting to wrestling, so I had that sort of crowd presence then. I could talk basically, and that has helped me a lot because being the loud, aggressive, I'm so much better than you because I. Good things come in small packages. I can talk, and then I say that. It's pathetic. But yeah, that's what I just do on every show. It's me just being a dick if I'm a heel, and me being really sort of plucky and come on guys, let's win the match as a face. And that's all you really need to stand out is just your own voice, really. There are so many people that could be the biggest person on a card, like literally could just stand in the ring and be imposing, but they don't stand out because they're just big. Yeah. And I could be like that. I'm just small, but I'm just small, and I can stand out because I can talk. I can stand out because I come to the ring in a robe, or I come to the ring, walk really slow, really menacing, or I have the announcer announce me as 800 pounds, or I come out with like a bodyguard who is huge, and people think that's the wrestler, and then I get in the ring. You know, like just that, playing up to the size, that makes you stand out. But the thing that really helps me stand out, I think, is the way I work. The way I work helps a lot. Because no one's expecting the small guy to do anything other than flip. And I can't flip. So that choice was made for me. I'm not an agile guy. People look at me and think, oh, he's really athletic. I am really not. Like, my stamina's okay, but apart from that, I am not an athlete, really. But I can grab a limb and tweak it and torture people and kick them really hard in the face if I need to. And that helps me stand out because no one's expecting the small guy to out wrestle a big guy. And that helps me stand out because I know how to do that. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm Zack Sabre Jr. or I'm Jonathan Gresham or Dean Malenko, but when push comes to shove, I feel like I can go in that respect. And I feel like I'm blowing my own trumpet and I don't like it.
No, it's confidence, man. Don't worry about it. So he feels like he can go. Good for him. Second question from Blanchard.
Blanchard.
Yeah, just keep it short. Just keep it short and sweet, that Dick. What does wrestling mean to you?
It's an escape. That's all it is, really. It's an escape. It's a passion. It's something to get lost in. And
which is something that Blanchard should do. Should get lost.
No, he did get lost. He got lost and then came back into wrestling. He was the guy. He was the coffee shop man. He's the reason I'm here. So, you know, silver linings, like. But yeah, no, wrestling means escape. And I feel like as a worker, I can be that escape for someone. Which is why I always look at the crowd to see if I'm a bad guy, me getting beaten up makes a kid smile. Or if I'm a good guy, me throwing an extra, like a lariat at the end of the match makes that kid smile. As long as one kid is happy with what I'm doing, then I feel like I have done what John Cena and Rey Mysterio and Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker did for me. So that's my thing. I want to be a part of wrestling, and it's a community is what it means then. I suppose. It means a lot of things, actually, now that I think about it.
We'll say that for our next video, right?
Yeah.
Next question. I'm going to do this one, then then do one more, and then that'll be it then. James Tompkins. He looks familiar, this guy. I don't know. When are you ever going to get over that you can't beat the brilliance? I don't know.
Brilliance is
I don't know who that brilliance is. He can't be that brilliant.
You'll have to try and reply with the actual name of that person. I don't know. There's a lot of people I can beat, and there's a lot of people I can't beat. If I can't beat you, then congratulations. If I can beat you, then congratulations. You're a part of history. That's all I can say.
Boom. Last question from Mr. Nick Hyam. We all know Nick and love him.
I love Nick.
No, this is something I haven't got a fucking clue about, to be honest, but just keep this just short and sweet, please, because I know you could go off on one about this. He wants to know what your favourite story arc from Doctor Who. What is your favourite story arc from Doctor Who? Classic or new? He doesn't mind. Just keep it short and sweet, please, for fuck's sake. I ain't got a clue. I know you'll be on this for ages. He told me.
I could be on this for ages. Yeah, no, surprisingly, Doctor Who reminds me a lot of wrestling, and one of my favorite stories in wrestling is the reinvention, the whole regeneration thing. And the best one for me of that was David Tennant's regeneration arc, where he saw everyone from his past and then was like, not sure I want to leave, I don't want to go, and then he just changed. So that's not so much of an arc as a couple of stories, but yeah, Time Lord Victorious being a big dick heel and then sort of turning face to leave. But to me, that's wrestling. Shawn Michaels, bit of a dick in his last few months, then was a big baby face on his way out. And yeah, I like that sort of thing. I do like storytelling in that way. Of, you know, you can always make mistakes, but at the end, if you're a good person, it will show. And that the David Tennant last few episodes showed that for me. So,
there you go, Nick. There you go, Nick. I'm sorry we can't keep going into this, but I haven't got a clue. And yeah, Doctor Who's just not my thing as such anymore. I used to like it. I don't anymore. Anyway, right. So that is going to conclude today's episode of CueBall's Bit of Rambles. I apologise for BXB. What are they, like, Backstreet Boob Jobs? Is that what BXB stands for? I don't know. Apologies about that, guy. So sorry.
The Backstreet Boys, that's what they are.
Backstreet Boys, boob job, bollocks. I don't know. They like their bees, don't they? I don't know. Maybe they can't say bees. So this has been the superior mind of professional wrestling. A very looking good up-and-comer. He's brain smart, if you will. Go and like his page and go and follow his YouTube account, which is Sandbrook. He does his YouTube online podcast.
Got something coming for that as soon as possible. So,
also like his page, CapslockCreative.
Yes, thank you.
And yeah, I've been the Bald-Headed Brawler CueBall. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comments who you'd like to appear on here, and I'll try and make it happen. Anyway, much love. Thanks for the support. #